The diplomatic hall of the Zarathian Empire gleamed with bioluminescent crystals, casting an ethereal purple glow across the assembled crowd. Jack wiped his sweaty palms on his uniform pants for the third time in as many minutes. Beside him, Anna adjusted her translator device, her expression a mixture of excitement and nervousness. "Remember," Anna whispered, "the proper greeting is Salteka Varthraxis, which means Honored Queen of Stars. Don't mess this up." Jack nodded, his throat dry. This was humanity's first formal diplomatic contact with the Zarathian Empire, a civilization that spanned 3 star systems and commanded a military force that could obliterate Earth's defenses in minutes. The weight of representing his entire species pressed down on his shoulders like a physical burden. The massive doors at the far end of the hall slid open with a whisper of advanced technology. Queen Velthara entered, and Jack's breath caught in his throat. She was magnificent, nearly 7 feet tall, with iridescent scales that shimmered between deep blue and violet. Her 4 eyes, arranged in a diamond pattern on her angular face, surveyed the room with intelligence and authority. A flowing cape of what appeared to be living starlight draped across her shoulders. The Zarathian soldiers lining the walls, each one a towering warrior in gleaming armor, stood at rigid attention. Their hands rested on weapons that hummed with barely contained energy. "Humans," the Queen's voice resonated through the hall, her translator rendering her words in perfect English. "To step forward and present your greetings." Anna moved first, bowing gracefully. "Salteka Varthraxis, we come in peace and friendship." The Queen inclined her head, pleased. Then all eyes turned to Jack. Jack stepped forward, his mind racing through the phrase he'd practiced 100 times. Salteka Va. But as he opened his mouth, his nervousness betrayed him. The syllables tangled on his tongue, and what emerged was catastrophically different. Salteka. The hall fell into shocked silence. Anna's face went pale. Jack's translator device, still processing, displayed the actual meaning of what he'd just said in glowing red letters visible only to him. "Sexy Queen." For one horrible moment, nobody moved. Then, from the line of soldiers, a sound emerged, a sort of chittering, clicking noise. It started with one soldier, then spread like wildfire through the ranks. The Zarathian warriors were laughing. Their laughter was alien and strange, a combination of clicking mandibles and trilling vocalizations, but the meaning was universal. Jack had just called their supreme ruler the most powerful, being in 3-star systems -sexy. Queen Velthara's scales rippled with a color Jack had never seen in any of the briefing materials, a deep crimson that spread from her neck to her face. Her 4 eyes widened, and she appeared to shrink slightly, her cape drawing closer around her body. The Queen was embarrassed. "Silence," she commanded, but her voice cracked slightly. The soldiers attempted to stifle their laughter, but sporadic clicking continued. One particularly large warrior near the door made a sound like a suppressed snort. Jack wanted the floor to open up and swallow him whole. This was it, the end of human-Zarathian relations before they'd even begun. Earth would be isolated, possibly even marked as disrespectful primitives unworthy of galactic cooperation. But then something unexpected happened. Jack looked at the Queen, really looked at her, and saw not the terrifying ruler of a vast empire, but a person. Someone who, despite her power and authority, was experiencing the universal mortification of an awkward social moment. And suddenly, Jack knew what he had to do. "Your Majesty," he said clearly, his voice steady despite his racing heart, "I apologize for my terrible pronunciation. My tongue is not accustomed to the beautiful complexity of your language. But I must say," he paused, meeting her 4-eyed gaze directly, "if my clumsy words accidentally contained any truth, it would only be because the legends of your wisdom, strength, and grace don't do you justice." Another silence fell, but this one felt different. The Queen's crimson color began to fade, replaced by shifting hues of blue and gold colors that, according to Anna's frantic gestures behind him, indicated surprise and appreciation. "You humans," Queen Velthara said slowly, a smile playing at the edges of her alien features, "are either very brave or very foolish. Perhaps both." "Definitely both, Your Majesty," Anna interjected quickly. "But we're also sincere in our desire for friendship." The Queen studied them for a long moment. Then, to everyone's astonishment, she laughed, a genuine musical sound that filled the hall. "In 300 years of receiving diplomatic envoys, no one has ever made me blush. Your species is refreshing." She gestured to her soldiers. "Stand down. These humans, clumsy though they may be with our language, have shown more genuine character in 5 minutes than most dignitaries show in hours of rehearsed pleasantries." As the tension in the room dissolved, the Queen stepped closer to Jack and Anna. "Come. We have much to discuss, and I find myself curious about a species that can turn a diplomatic disaster into an opportunity with nothing but honesty and courage." Jack exhaled slowly, feeling Anna's elbow dig into his ribs, part relief, part reprimand. As they followed the Queen deeper into the palace, he could still hear the occasional chuckle from the soldiers behind them. Later, when the formal negotiations concluded successfully and humanity secured its first interstellar alliance, historians would point to this moment as the turning point, not because of perfect protocol or impressive technology, but because one nervous human had accidentally revealed a fundamental truth about his species. They were imperfect, genuine, and possessed the rare ability to find connection even in their mistakes. And somewhere in the palace archives, a recording of the incident would become legendary, watched by millions across the Zarathian Empire, a reminder that sometimes the best diplomacy comes not from saying the right words, but from being willing to be vulnerably, authentically human.